guys. So I've been thinking, you know, it's really difficult to raise ASF colonies, especially when you have a male in the colony pass away. Or even worse than that, when you have several females pass away and you're left with one male. And it's known that you can't just reintroduce new ASFs to colonies. And so that got me thinking a while back, what can be done about this? Because this is a big problem. You can have whole colonies wiped out just because one individual passes away. And so that got me thinking a little bit about nature. You know, what does nature do? And I'm not sure what ASFs do in nature. You know, how they've been able to survive or combat when a member of their colony passes away. But I figured there had to be a way. And so I started looking at different ideas of how you could reintroduce new rats, new ASFs to your colonies. And I came up with something that I think is going to work. In fact, I know it has worked for me already, and I'm hoping that it'll work for you. So my idea comes from bees. If you know anything about bee colonies, then you'll know that you can't just reintroduce or introduce a new queen to the colony, because the colony will immediately kill it. And so what you have to do is you have to create a sort of quarantine box or a penalty box for the queen. And usually the little box that she's contained in has some sort of food that has to be eaten away in order for the rest of the colony to get access to the queen. Now, I'm not going to create a food box like bees do, but I have created a sort of quarantine box. Now, let me show you how this thing works. Now, this has worked for me, and I have had 0 failures in it. I don't know if it's just because I have really great colonies or what. So try this at your own risk. But what I've done is I've created a divider. Okay, let me show you how this thing works. Okay, here I've got an empty tub. Now I don't actually have any new colonies that I need to reintroduce right now, but this will give you an idea of how this will work. I've got my tub, I've got my screen on top, and I've got my divider. All you have to do is put the divider in, put your bedding or whatever you got in there. Make sure you get your all your bedding, and then you put the 2 colonies in there, one on each side. Make sure they've got food and water on both sides, so you'd have to cut a hole in this one and put a water bottle in that as well. And just leave them in there for a week or so. You could do it even longer than that if you have really nasty colonies. My colonies are pretty good. They do attack you, but I just don't have any experience with any other colonies, so I'm not sure how other colonies are. But for my colonies, this has worked for me time and time again. And I can't guarantee that it'll work for you, but this is at least an answer. This is at least an option to try. And what's nice about this is the divider allows them to interact with each other. It allows, if you think about it like a hockey penalty box. You send teammates to opposite penalty boxes, they're enraged, they want to kill each other, they want to fight. But by the end of the penalty, they both get on with it, and they're no longer so angry. They just get back into the game. That's the idea. And when you're ready, just go ahead and take the divider out and be really careful. You want to be there the entire time, and you want to see how they interact with each other. Now, believe it or not, this has worked for me. I've tried this with them separated between just a day or two, and then removed the divider, and it worked. And I was completely shocked. I thought, there's no way it's going to work. They're going to tear each other apart. But for whatever reason, they didn't. I had a full colony of females that the male had passed away, and I thought, let's just try this. I tried it out, and they freely accepted the new male into the new colony after just a little bit of time in the penalty box. So this is my answer. I can't guarantee that it'll work for yours, but if you have some sort of container and you can put a divider in there, make sure the divider is impervious. But make sure that, and just give it a try. Be really cautious about introducing them to each other. Just use your judgment, and who knows, maybe it'll work for you. Anyways, this has been another video from Clutch Pythons. Hopefully you'll subscribe, and we'll see you next time. Thanks, guys.